Hi, welcome to Grateful Acres Farmstead. We are doing some pressure canning today. We've got chili to can. So I wanted to just show you a few things if you've never done pressure canning before that might be helpful. So this is a Presto. There's also All-American and a couple other brands. All-American and Presto are the most common, most popular. So the lid that's going to go on the pot of the pressure canner, this is a dial gauge. So you want to check a few things. You want to make sure that your ring is seated in there. So you want to make sure it's seated in there correctly. Alright, you want to make sure that this, I can't remember what it's called, but I put 2 fingers on this side and 2 on this side, and I twist opposite directions to make sure that it's being held in place. This little safety valve, this black one, you want to make sure that it moves freely up and down. And you want to make sure that the vent pipe is clear. So, a few things, I always get this little, I found this on Amazon, it's teeny tiny. You can also get, there's a little brush dental pick. You can get some of those in the dental department at Walmart for fairly inexpensive. And you just want to kind of make sure it's, runs through there freely, that there's no blockage. And you can check and just make sure that you can see daylight through it. So those are a few things with that. We have very hard water here, so I always put a couple splashes of vinegar in my water that I'm going to be using for canning so that it's easier to get the lime off when I wash my jars. Okay, so you probably won't see my face, which is quite alright. We're just doing some canning, so you don't need to see that. Alright, a few things I have here are my canning funnel and a ladle, because I'm doing chili. I like to keep stuff on a plate so it's not too terribly nasty all over. I have my rings for my jars. I have my jar lifter. Okay. I also have my lids sitting in some hot water, but I'm not boiling them. You don't need to boil them any longer. So I've just got them sitting in there. And then I also have just a jar of water, or a bowl of water, so that I can wash the ring of it. I've already checked my jars to make sure that there are no chips or dings or anything in the jars. They're sitting in warm water. The jars have come up to heat because I have hot chili. I also have my weight to set on top of the canner lid once we have that going. So I'm actually going to turn this off for just a moment so I can bring the chili closer. Then I'm going to lift one of these out. It's not ideal, but for video purposes, I needed to move some things around. Otherwise, I'd put it on the other side, but then there's nowhere to put the camera, so. Alright, then you have your little magnet that you're going to pull that up. I don't know about you, but I am very particular about how my lids go on. If there's writing, they have to line up. I don't know. So, fingertip tight. You're going to lift this back in and into the water. And then you're just going to keep going. If there's water, you'll want to dump it out, and you'll want to go this way to dump it out. Not this way. You don't want these facing this way because water could run down and get your hand. So we'll do another one. And then I'll probably turn you off and move to the other side where it's easier for me to get this done quickly. These are wide mouth quart. I don't know if I mentioned that before. They hold almost 4 cups because you have to leave the inch of headspace. And some little tips that might help when you're putting your lids if you're soaking them in water. I just do it to kind of soften it up a little bit. You want to alternate the direction of the lid, or else they all stick together. Alright, so one of my jars has fallen down in there. Makes it kind of hard to get that out of there. Whew, I know. Alright. Alright, so like I said, this one fell and got some water in it. So you want to let it go, not this way, you want to let it go this way to pour the water out. Okay? Alright. You need to leave 1 inch headspace at the top of the jar. I could actually put just a smidge more in there. Then you're going to take a clean rag, dunk it in the water, clean water, and you're just going to go around the top like this to make sure if anything's spilled on there that it doesn't get trapped underneath the lid. Alright, so I wanted to show you, I apologize, I think I was out of frame, but when you have these in boiling water and you need to make sure that you don't burn your hand, like if this has boiling water in it and you're trying to take it out of the canner, you want to pour this direction. Do you see how these are going? Because your water's going to run out here. If you do it this direction and you pour boiling water, chances are it's going to run all down here and onto your hand. So make sure when you're dumping water out back into the canner, so if you're taking it out and putting it back into the canner, you want to hold it like this. You're going to hold it so it's horizontal, not vertical. Horizontal, hand is safe. Vertical, very bad. Okay, so we've already checked all the parts on this, so you're going to line it up. There's an arrow on the top here. Let me see if I can bring you in. So here it says close and open, and there's a little V, and it lines up with this little V. So that's how you know it's on properly. And then you'll twist it until it's all the way twisted close. Alright, so you're going to turn it on. It would still be on otherwise, but I turned it off. So you don't want to like bring it up to pressure too fast. So my oven or my stovetop is on between a medium and low, closer to the medium since it was already hot. I'm going to bring that up to pressure. This is going to vent steam for 10 minutes once it's a good venting steam, and I'll show you what that looks like. When that happens, you're going to put the weight on like that. You don't want to put it on until it's vented steam for 10 minutes. You're going to put that on and wait for it to come up to pressure on the dial. When it gets to your pound of pressure for your altitude, which ours is 10 or 11, you're going to get that and it will start rocking, and I'll show you that as well. And you're going to do that quarts with beans or meat are 90 minutes. All right, I'll bring you back when things start happening. Okay, if you can see the steam, I don't know if you can see how hard pressure that's coming out. Okay, I'm going to do that for 10 minutes, and this will pop up. When it's ready for the, wait, after the 10 minutes, if that has not popped up, it should almost immediately pop up. Okay, so it's been going for 10 minutes. This has popped up. So I'm going to put my weight on there. And pretty soon it will start dancing as soon as this goes to, 10 pounds of pressure-ish. 10 or 11 pounds right there. So as soon as that gets to pressure, then this will start rocking back and forth, you know, like this. All right, I'll bring you back. Okay, so you can see it jiggling, and you just want it to keep it a jiggle like that, so you might need to adjust your heat. You don't want it going crazy berserk. And my dial says 11 pounds of pressure. So, now you will start your timer, which is 90 minutes, because I have quarts in there. After the 90 minutes is up, then I'll turn my heat off to the stove completely, and I'll let it come down to pressure. When it comes down from pressure, this will go completely to 0, and your little thingy here will drop. Do not even try to remove that until those things have happened. Do not try to remove that. I'll bring you back when it's done. Okay, so it's done, and the pressure's down to 0. The weight stopped, and the thing has fallen down. So we're going to take this off. Then we're going to loosen the lid. Always open away from you, so pull the lid up towards you so that the steam doesn't burn you. And I like to just set my lid on top for about 5 minutes, so it's not quite sitting down. All the steam can escape, and it gives it a few minutes for me to let that happen. All right, so you want to make sure you have something on your counter, towel or something that is going to stop it from sitting directly on your countertop, so as not to shatter any glass, any jars. All right, and then you'll use the jar lifter. Bring those out and set them on there. So exciting when you see your water is still clear, meaning your jars did not siphon and leak out at all. All right, and then you'll hear them start to ping as the air escapes out of there. You'll hear them ping, and they will be sealed for your shelf. They all ping. If you have any that don't ping, then you will have to put those in the refrigerator once they've cooled down completely and use those. Or you can recan a lot of things, but you'll wait 12 to 24 hours before you take the bands off and wash your jars and label them and put them on the shelf. All right, so it's been 12 hours since we canned the bean chili. All right, so a couple of ways that you can make sure that it's sealed, other than hearing the ping once you look at them. If you put a flashlight on them, you can see that they're indented. So that's the sound when it's sealed. It doesn't pop back up. If it didn't seal, it's not locked here in the middle. You can still see the button is pushed up. So if you hear that, then it has to go back. You know, it had to have been in the refrigerator. It did not seal and is not safe for your pantry. shelf. Another way is once you take the ring off, just to double check, you can hold it by the lid and it will stay sealed. So this is a good seal. I've labeled it just bean chili, and I do the month and the year because we're going to eat through it before that anyway, so no use in putting the exact date that you did it. Alright, so now I have 7 quart jars of chili ready on the shelf. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope it was helpful. Please share this with anybody that you think might enjoy it or it might be useful for. Share it on your social media. That would be I would be so thankful and grateful. Have a great day. God bless.